And just another ugly win for Michigan. And it just seems like it's the same old story week in and week out, but they continue to win football games as ugly as it may be.
I know you talk about expectations and fair or not for the University of Michigan. And I think I saw a stat that said they start 6 freshmen, right? And they're 8-2, man. You know what I mean? And the questioning of is Sharon Moore the guy? Like, obviously, like you could argue, like, do they look prepared all the time? I don't know, right? They don't. Sometimes the decision making is questionable and they're sloppy, but they're 8-2, and they're going to be 9-2 a week from now, and heading into the game against Ohio State with a chance to play in the Big Ten championship game. So, I mean, it's hard to knock success, right? And that just goes to show you there are a lot of schools, especially the one in East Lansing, that'd be really happy to be 8-2 right now that are sloppy, you know, and looking unprepared. Yeah. But I think I made the comment in one of my buddies, our group chat. I said I feel like sometimes they play down to their competition. Like the game against Oklahoma was awesome. If you remember, it was a hard hitting, like that was a pretty good game. But like sometimes I feel like they play down to their competition. And that just might be youth. You know, it might be they're just really young, and that's just kind of who they are. And then one of my buddies said, he's like, I just don't think they're very good. It's like, well, again, the record says otherwise, but you can make that argument they're not as talented as they have been the last few years, you know, which is obviously true. But they're 8-2. They're 8-2.
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely not experienced on the offensive side of the ball, and that's showing itself quite a bit. And I pop up these stats here real quick here, Brian. But man, I mean, if you just look at the stats, it looks like Michigan. You don't look at the score. You think Michigan won by 30 points yesterday. I mean, they dominated as far as statistics go. But what you don't see on there is the turnovers. And Michigan had 5 turnovers to Northwestern having 0. Michigan also missed 2 field goals. So, I mean, that just jumps out at you right away. And it's just, you can see, and it's continued. We're hoping by now that some of these mistakes and decision-making would be better. But you're still seeing the same things, and you're still seeing the talent. The talent is immense. But especially late in the game yesterday, you saw Underwood just make some terrible decisions, some terrible throws, and thrown into coverage, and 5 turnovers to Northwestern 0. It's just and to still find a way to win the game is
right.
Wild.
Well, you just looking at the stats, and this is why sometimes stats can be overrated to a degree. If you're just looking at this, man, Michigan had close to 500 yards. It was a blowout, you know, and converted 9 times on 3rd down. Man, it's a blowout, right? And time of possession, more than 7 minutes of the ball, or right around there, it's a blowout. And it isn't the case because of those other factors you mentioned. But no, it's still a growth year for Bryce Underwood in a lot of ways. And again, growth year for Chip Lindsey, their offensive coordinator, right? Trying to figure out what works for him and what works for his athletes. But it'll be, fast forwarding it ahead to the offseason, because this is what happens now in college football. It'll be interesting who they bring in from the portal, and how much more dynamic they make their offense that way. But Northwestern is a 500 team, and
Let's circle back to the main topic, the Michigan Wolverines, and I guess the question is, are they good or not? Like, they're 8-2. Probably going to be 9-2. Going to play Ohio State at home with everything on the line.
I can't believe I'm doing this. Like, what's your definition of good? Like, they're 8-2 and they're talented. They're winning football games. They're just not winning clean, right? But they're winning football games. Like, I think they're good.
I guess my definition would be good. Be a team that has a legitimate shot to make the playoffs and advance if they do get in there.
That's your
definition. They're not just going to get in there and get smoked. Because in that definition, you're probably a top 10 team.
I think, all right, let me look at the college football playoff rankings right now. I'm going to find them.
Well, the thing is, Michigan they've just stuck in 18 or around 18 to 20
it's hard,
weeks now because they win games, but they don't win them convincingly.
I think, Dan, I think Ohio State okay. Again, here, you could use the argument. This is what it's going back to why college football is weird right now. Like, your team that's ranked 3rd in the playoff, who was 10-0, had to come back from 27-3 down, was it? Or 30-3 down at
30
home.
to 3 down.
33 down at home against an under 500 South Carolina team.
3-6.
So does that mean, Texas A&M hasn't beaten anybody? Well, they're 10-0. They're 10-0. So
they went into Notre Dame and beat Notre Dame.
And they're 10-0. And they're 10-0. Right? Like, I don't know. You can't tell me a team that's
I guess what I'm asking you, Brian, what is Michigan? What are they? Are they a team that can? Are they going to hang with Ohio State? Are they just going to get smoked? Are they?
No, I don't.
Can they go on the field and compete with Ohio State?
Yes, they definitely can. I think of course that's a winnable game for them. I just I said it to you yesterday. It wouldn't surprise me if though they win next week against nice of me. Remember I said the game against Maryland would be the tough one. I bet you I'm way wrong now. Looking at Maryland, it was Northwestern was the tough one.
They were losing with 2 seconds left.
God, right. And I said Michigan they'll lose to Ohio State, potentially lose the bowl game, and you're at a 9-4 season. I think people would have expected that before the year. I mean, if you're being realistic, like 9-4. I think yes, I think they can do. Here's the problem Michigan's going to have, and actually I think it's more about Ohio State than anything. Remember Ohio State last year felt like they had to prove they were the tougher team, right? And they went in and they kind of tried to be tough and physical with Michigan, and they were beat up front, and Michigan took it to them. That was an advantage they had, and it was a low scoring game. And then in the playoff, Ohio State was Ohio State, and they're doing their thing. If Michigan gets into a track meet in 2 weeks, like they're not beating Ohio State. They're not going to keep – that's not going to happen. Yeah. They're not going to match them score for score if that happens. But again, I don't know how much you were watching the Ohio State game yesterday. Like Jeremiah Smith didn't play the whole game. Like Ohio State was a little bit banged up. Like you never know when injuries come into play, right? But if both teams are fully at full capacity – then Michigan's going to have a hard time matching them score for score. If Ohio State learned their lesson, right, and they don't try to, pound the rock, so to speak. If they wing it around and do that, and the weather's decent, like I think Ohio State wins. But of course, Michigan can win. Of course.
Yeah. But I guess my point is we keep coming back. Are they a good team or a not good team? I guess it really doesn't matter. The point is that they go out and beat Maryland next week, which we both think they will, and they're going to have Ohio State at home with everything on the line. They win that game. I'm still not sure how the tiebreakers work because it's really weird tiebreakers for the Big Ten. But I believe if Michigan were to win out, they will go to the Big Ten championship game. And so you go into that Ohio State game with everything on the line, a chance to beat Ohio State for the fifth year,
and it's kind of
a chance to go to the Big Ten championship. It's your chance to make the playoffs and a chance to win a national title. It's all still there going into the last game of the regular season.
And it's kind of like a game 7 of a playoff series, right? Where they say just get to a game 7 because anything can happen, right? In a lot of ways, that's how
you get it at home,
and you're at home, right? And Julian's saying that's the first time he's playing in the rivalry, and it's on the road. So you're like. Yeah,
you have the mental edge. You've won 4 straight.
Mental edge, of course. Ryan Day, is he gonna? All that. Like so many layers to that, man. So many layers.
It goes back to, and I texted you during that game. I said that the Michigan Wolverines equal the Detroit Tigers.
Yeah,
and I meant that in a lot of ways. But what I meant it more than anything is more the fan bases. Because if you remember in like August and September with the Tigers, everybody's just like, I just hope they're done. They're playing so bad. They're not going to do anything. There's no way they can win a World Series anyway. So who cares? I hope they don't make the playoffs. I hope they collapse. I'm like, dude, just get in. Yep. Just get in. Anything can happen. And even if you don't win it all, you're going to get some special moments. You're going to get some great moments potentially. And you did. Correct. You got some great School Bowl games. You got that great game against Cleveland. You beat Cleveland. And he got within one play of going to the ALCS.
Correct.
And I feel like it's the same way with Michigan. I got all these Michigan fans are saying, I want Schroe more fired and this, that, and the other. Yeah. They're terrible. They're awful. Underwood's overrated. He doesn't deserve the money. I'm like, dude, okay, all these guys, majority of your offense is freshmen for one thing. Yep. And 2, you're still right there. All the goals that they had set out before the season are still right there in front of them.
Part of that is just fans being fans too. They ride the emotional roller coaster, and that's kind of how they feel. And but yeah, man, I'm with you. No, you're 8-2. You got an opportunity. Like you control your destiny. I think you're a good team.